Hi guys, what's up fellow gamers? M.V.K here back again. Welcome back to, I guess you could say, gamer news. And today guys, on this we are still getting over, we're still in the summer of games, and PS5, Sony had their press conference, their announcement. Unfortunately I could not watch the whole thing because basically reason being was because your boy was on the job. So and I'm supposed to be guarded, and I can't be on my phone trying to watch this live announcement. So, and when it was over, I was gonna go back and watch, but then I just waited to see like what was gonna be announced, and I got a good amount of things that were announced. I saw a couple of trailers, teaser trailers of the games, and the first one we're talking about is Spider-Man Miles Morales. As you guys know me, if you have been following me from the main channel and to all my channels, you know me, I'm a huge comic fan. And I know Miles Morales Miles Morales, of course, is the Latino Spider-Man. He's half Puerto Rican, half black, created by Brian Michael Bendis for the Ultimate universe before he transitioned into the main Marvel Comics continuity. And in the Spider-Man game, we saw Miles. He was introduced, and we could play with him a little bit. It was more just sneaking around, but at this point now, we saw that he got his powers. He got his powers, and Peter was training him how to becoming the new Spider-Man, or his successor, his disciple. So, he is a legacy character in a sense. And to see this game, which I kind of knew it was, when I saw this trailer, I did get to see this trailer, and I was like, this is Spider-Man. And then when I got a better look at the scheme, I'm like, oh, that's Miles. And you hear Peter talking, talking about what his father, Miles' father, told him: a hero is just a guy who doesn't give up. Now it's your turn. And you see Miles holding something with his venom, his venom blast, and then it goes into the cutscene of just seeing in-play game of it, and I was loving that. I was loving the music to it. I was like, yeah, this is great. What caught me a lot about it was also just the concept of the environment. Now it's winter time. You see Miles, he's in a winter coat, he's moving around, he's saving a little girl. I love that scene. You see him, he's got the little girl in his hand, and he's swinging around with her. How he's web slinging. Even at points where he's jumping, it looks like he's falling backwards, like, whoa, and then he catches himself and things like that. But you never got to see like a real villain. We saw somebody in it. We saw a character who had like a electrified sword, and he's jumping around, and then you saw him go invisible and still using his venom shock again and everything like that, his bioshock. And but the question for all of us was, as a gamer, it was like, okay, is this a DLC? Is this an all new game? Is this a sequel? Is this a prologue to the true Spider-Man sequel? And that was the biggest question, everybody, because when I posted it on my Facebook, everybody was like, yeah, it's probably just a DLC. And I'm like, I don't care what it is. It's focusing on Miles now. Which is great. Don't get me wrong, I love Spider-Man, I love Peter Parker, he is my favorite all-time hero. But I will say, I did want to see Miles, see what he can do. And that was always the biggest question for the sequel. I thought the sequel was going to be, okay, you can play with both Miles and Peter. But the question kind of was answered throughout social media, and they were saying, it's not a sequel. It is its separate game. It's its own game that is going to take the strength and the use of the PS5. So basically, it's like an expansion game, still set in the world of what we left off with. More importantly, it's kind of, the way I looked at it is kind of like they did with the Uncharted series. See how they did all 4 games? That was Nathan's story. And then they did Uncharted Legacy, which focused on two of the essential characters from the last game. One of them being, I think, what was her name? Naomi, I believe her. I can't remember her name. But she was the one that would kick your ass all the time in the game, in the fourth game. So that's how I figure. I'm like, okay, so it is a separate game. It is an expansion, but then that's when your boy's juices starts flowing, and you're like, okay, if this is an expansion, Miles is in his own game. Where's Peter? What's going on? Why does now Miles take over, or is this just a different section? If you're a non-New Yorker, it makes you wonder, okay, is Miles just patrolling in Brooklyn? But then I'm like, I've been through Brooklyn many times, and there's not a lot of big skyscrapers he can web sling on and move around like that. So a lot of people are saying that maybe Peter, they're taking a little bit of the story of what happened in Spider-Verse 2, the comic series, where Gameverse Spider-Man went with the other Spider-Man to deal with the Inheritors, and so he needs Miles to take up the slack while he's away. You know, or it could be maybe Peter went with MJ to Smithcovia, where Silver Sable's from. Remember, she went there, she was going to go there to report and things like that. So maybe Peter went with her, and he's like, hey, Miles, I need you to hold down the fort while I'm with MJ, keep her safe or something like that. I don't know. But the second question to me is, who are the enemies? Who are the villains? We know there's gonna be some villains. There's gotta be some characters in there that Miles is gonna have to face. And the thing about Miles, no matter what, he doesn't have an extensive rogues gallery. He doesn't. So will Insomniac and all of them use known established Spider-Man villains that we have not seen in the universe? Or they aren't? Well, in the first game we saw that, you know, Sandman, Mysterio, all those characters, they weren't in there physically, but we know they're in that game. So will we see those characters, or will we see more very underrated Spider-Man characters that only true Spider-Man fans, longtime Spider-Man fans know about? You know, like one of the guy, if you've seen in the trailer, and you're probably seeing it right now, I got it on a loop. There's a character that Miles is basically about to shock, and he looks like he could fly. Is that the character Chance? Is that a redone of Chance? Because in the comics of the Gamerverse, we actually saw versions of Tarantula and other characters like that. Will this game be more original villain characters, which I would not mind, but with that, it's also, now we got to go into backstory of who they are. One of the characters I believe that they might, maybe Uncle Aaron. His uncle is a villain in some ways. Uncle Aaron was the Prowler in the Ultimate Universe, so it makes you wonder, will we see other established Marvel characters? Marvel characters I wouldn't mind seeing in this game. Bombshell would be a good example. Cloak and Dagger, because they have hung out with Miles from time to time. You know, maybe they are established and they know Peter, so Spider-Man says we should kind of keep check on you and things like that. It would be kind of interesting, you know, to see some other established characters, but I doubt that. But I won't be surprised if Uncle Aaron is in the game. But yeah, man, outside of that, what we've seen was great. I'm looking forward to this game. This was a good starting point to get people to gear up to buy a PS5. Right out the gate with that one. Boom. This game's coming out in this holiday. So in the holiday season this year. So it's like, boom. Now the other thing I want to debunk, because everybody's saying, oh, it's going to come out for PS4. No, it's not. They clearly said it's exclusive to PS5. So it's coming out for the PS5 exclusively. It's not coming out for PS4. Yes, it's somewhat an expansion that still pertains to the 2018 Spider-Man game, but it is its own game and it's PS5 exclusive. So what a way to start to get people like, you know what? I think I'm gonna get a PS5 first or something like that, because there's a lot of people that probably say they want to get both. But PS5, I love the design of it. I love everything about it. It's different. I talked about that before. It's different. I like it. Um, but I'm looking forward to Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I'm looking forward to the true sequel. Who knows? This true sequel could be being worked on right now and maybe coming out maybe the summertime of next year. Who knows? I don't know. But all regards, fellow gamers, this looks great. You guys tell me in the comment section below, what are some of the things you want to see in this game? You want to see different costumes from Miles? I'm sure they'll have that, even though Miles never really had too many different costume variations. Or more importantly, do you want to see what villains do you want to see? Do you want to see more original villains, or do you want to see more established villains that Miles can deal with? But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy, guys. As always, fellow gamers, keep playing. This is the news. It's up to you to. I was trying to make that rhyme. Sorry. Just leave your comments in the section down below, guys. Other than that, deuces.